Hey guys, it's Halo553. Welcome back to another Beyblade X unboxing and review. Today we're going to be checking out the next of the Rare Bait Get Battle Redemptions from Takara, that being Antler. Now going over the packaging, as you can see it's the typical brown box with its name on the front and the name on the bottom. But when we flip onto the back, we do have a breakdown of the primary blade. So of course we have the Buck lock chip, the Antler primary blade, and then the bumper assist blade. So let's get into this release. So here is Buck Antler out of the packaging. So similar to Crack and Wriggle, this is a release that we first saw from Hasbro back in Wave 6 as Antler Stag. So for the most part, it is very identical to the Hasbro release, but it's now done in the metal coat, and one part of the bay has been changed from the original release as well. But let's now have a full deep dive into all the parts that we get with Buck Antler. So first off, we have the Buck or the Stag lock chip. So, standard CX lock chip, no metal or rubber or anything. So this is the same lock chip that we originally got with Antler Stag, but with just some slight changes to the colors. I will say I wasn't the big fan of the original colors on Antler Stag. I'm not the biggest fan of the lock chip colors here either. But with the Antler primary blade, I think this lock chip definitely looks really good with the colors. So if you keep it with a similar colorway, it definitely will look really good. Kind of still would have preferred more like earthy, like toned colors for a Buck or a Stag, but even still, I think this is a decent looking lock chip. Next up, we have the Antler primary blade. So this is a remold of the Flame blade from Cerberus Flame, and gotta say, this looks absolutely gorgeous. The metal's done in a very nice metal coat. It's the same metal coat that was used on the Feather Phoenix metal coat, and it looks really good. Plus the extra orange on the plastic looks really good. Gotta say, when you compare this to the original release from Hasbro, this looks way better in my opinion. I think this is the definitive version of the Antler blade. And this blade does perform a little bit better than Flame, somewhat, but granted, not a lot of people use the Flame primary blade. But it can be a decent stamina type blade if you work with it a bit. But overall, love the way this blade looks. Next up, we have the bumper assist blade. So it actually has been a little while since this has had a release. Now, granted, this also just got a reissue in the latest random booster with Heaven's Ring as well. Nowadays though, bumper's not the best assist blade. There's a much better defense type aux blades / assist blades that do its job a lot better. But it still does work pretty well with some primary blades out there. So definitely a bit outclassed nowadays, but can still be a decent option if you find the right primary blade to work with. Next up, we have the 260 ratchet. Not the best ratchet here. The two-sided ratchets are not great. They have a tendency to burst and work against the blade using them. They're just not really viable. I do like the new colors this one is in. It's very interesting, but not the best ratchet. I'll be honest, this is actually probably a part I kind of wish they did change. But, I mean, it hasn't been available for a little while. I can't remember exactly the last time it got a release, but it has been a little while. So, it can be a decent way to get this ratchet if you haven't gotten it yet, but yeah, just not a particularly good ratchet though. Finally, for the bit, we have Dot. So this is the part of the combo that has been changed from the original release. The original bit was High Needle, so we're now getting a different defense type bit. And I will say, definitely a little bit of an upgrade here. High Needle's not a particularly great bit, it just doesn't really work very well. Dot's in a similar ballpark, but it does have slightly better performance, especially on some UX expand bays right now. But pretty cool though to see a new release of it. It is another part I think we actually haven't seen for a little while, and I do like the new color it's in. But apart from that, it's a bit of an average defense type bit. There are other bits that can work a lot better, but there's definitely others that could be worse than it. Disc Spike. With this combination of parts, it makes a Buck Antler a defense type. So let's now head on to the scale and weigh up all the parts that Buck Antler comes with. Alright, let's get some weights in for Buck Antler. So the dot bit, let's stand up. 2.01 or 2 grams exactly. 260. 6.21. The bumper assist blade, 5.38. And then the Buck lock chip, 1.72. Alright, then the Antler primary blade. This one weighs 29.26 grams, so pretty good weight for that. And we'll compare it to the original, at least mine. 29.15, so this one is slightly heavier, but that's also probably more variation with the mold. But even still, pretty good weight for it. It is heavier than the original Flame Blade. So full blade, this one weighs 36.35 grams, so pretty good weight for it. So let's put the whole blade together. 260 and dot. Gotta say the blade looks absolutely gorgeous, especially with that lock chip. Looks way better than the original in my opinion. So altogether, this full combo weighs 44.55 grams. So let's now head up to the stadium and do some test spins with this. Alright, now we're going to do some test spins with Buck Antler. I'm not going to do any test battles with it as I don't want to ruin this metal card. I mean, it looks absolutely gorgeous. If you do want to see how well this blade does on the combo Hasbro had, check out the original review of this blade. But let's try this out. So it is on dot compared to high needle, so it's it's definitely going to be a bit wobbly, as you can see. But I would say at least with the original combo, when you compare it to the original combo, this one will probably perform a bit better because it's on dot and not high needle. And I will say on looks alone, this looks way better. I think the colors look a lot better on this example compared to the Hasbro release. So I would say if you are thinking of maybe getting this one, I would say consider it over the Hasbro, because I think just on the looks alone, this looks a lot better. I think just from, mainly because it has a lot more color to it. I mean, you got orange, like dark purple, orange, and a bit more compared to the original, which was just all this kind of pink. But yeah, overall, I really like this. I think this is really, really cool. So that is it for my look at Buck Antler. And yeah, I gotta say, this is a massive improvement over the original Antler stack from Hasbro. Just really in terms of the coloration. It looks fantastic. They chose a really great metal card color, and the colors of the plastic look really great as well. It's still not the best combo. I do think it would have been better off using a different ratchet compared to 260. Still not a great ratchet. Don't, though, is a nice change from high needle, but still would have liked maybe a different bit used. But overall, this is a really, really nice release, and like I said, I think this definitely trumps the Hasbro version in many areas, just really in terms of the colors. It looks so good. So my final thoughts on Buck Antler are really high. This is way better than the Hasbro release, just really in terms of the colors and the combo to a small degree. I definitely highly recommend you try and pick this up if you can over the Hasbro release. But if you are on a budget, the Hasbro release is still a viable option, just not that good compared to colors and just really the bit. But overall, I am very happy with this release. And we do have one more to look at, but that's going to be a little while, as it's going to be a few months till I get my Hornet Fort redemptions. But stay tuned for Hornet Fort's review in the foreseeable future. But that's going to do for this review, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And check out all my other friends' channels in the links in the description below. So till then, I'll see you all in the next video.